Isn't this a fantastic day after, yeah. After this wet and cold April and early May, the Nordic gods have smiled on us today, so this is just magnificent. So I'm John Nelson. I'm lucky enough to be the board president. I spend a lot of time here, and this is a wonderful assignment, and my colleagues, board colleagues, are here at my side and in the audience. Welcome to Nordic Northwest and to Nordia House. It's wonderful to be together again. We haven't had this for 3 years. In June of 2015, we opened this building. So in June of 2020, we were going to have this event for the 5-year celebration. So we thought we'll have it the next year in 2021. So here we are at the 7-year point, celebrating 7 years. The important thing is Nordic Northwest would not be here without all of you, each and every one of you, the voluntary efforts you put forth, your financial sacrifices, donations, things like that. It's because of you, and it's you that we are celebrating. The community that is strong, and it's stronger now than I think it was in 2020. We have navigated through COVID. I believe we're strong, and we're going ahead and forward on a very strong foundation. It's because of the strength of the community. Again, it's because of you and the work by volunteers to make this organization happen. So there's a lot of thank yous tonight after 7 years. The theme of tonight is really thank you. I want to thank our sponsors for their generosity for hosting tonight's event. I'd like to start off with Mike and Arlette Nelson. Mike is over in the corner. Where's your lovely wife? As you know, Mike and Arlette have been very generous in the past, and they continue to be generous. Thank you very much. I'm also delighted to, along with other sponsors, board members, I want to particularly mention Aase, Besson, Sonja, Brady, Jensen, and Mario Cristancho, and Broder, Söder for helping this event tonight. Our business partner, Peter Bro, Sarah Matthews, Nordic Finware, we really appreciate all their time, their contributions, and their assistance in helping us put on cultural events. We had an architectural group here last night discussing Alvar Aalto. In fact, the program continues today at another location, but this room was full last night, and thank you, Casey, and all the work that Broder did to make that happen and have all the refreshments available. So thank you all. By the way, I forgot to mention the most important thing of all, besides thank you, is make sure your electronic devices are off. Please, we have a number of thank yous, a number of presentations here, but that's an important one. Okay, before I turn the mic over, because we have each of my colleagues here is going to have a short presentation, I wanted to take a couple of minutes and talk about the last 2 years. In March of 2020, we had to shut the doors, cut the budget, and the board turned to Jody. Jody, as our executive director, had only been here a short time. She was still pretty green. She was learning the ropes, as it were. Her mettle was tested. We were all tested. We had this thing called COVID-19. None of us knew what it was. It was scary. It was all unknown. So we as an organization, the board and our staff, were faced with no playbook. We had no rehearsal. So we shut down, and Jody worked in this building mostly alone every day. She is tough, focused, resilient, and very loyal. So week after week, and those turned into months, and the months turned into a year, that effort played out, and we are here successful, and I want to call out Jody right now to thank her for that loyalty and that focus, the strength that she exhibited during that time. Thank you. And let me add that Jody didn't do this by herself, but she's the leader. She's the leader of the organization as the executive director. During that time, she kept the board informed. She worked with Broder and Finware. They were shut down. The question is, what are we going to do? We don't know. We have to talk. We have to communicate. We have to keep hopeful. We have to understand what's going on in the trends. We have to work with the county health department. We have to keep our membership informed. She managed the staff. She was sensitive to their personal circumstances. It was scary for our staff. They're home alone. They're doing remote work. Some of these young people had never faced this before, anything like it. So this is all new stuff. And Jody, during that time, another accomplishment was she obtained government support through the Payroll Protection Act money. She found the shuttered venue funds that helped pay for the new divider here in the Great Hall. So she was looking, searching, and scraping for every dollar, working very closely with Karen, our bookkeeper, accounting manager, with Sonja and the finance committee, and trying to keep this boat floating and moving forward in the water. She communicated with committee chairs and numerous volunteers. In business, there's a term called performance review. And I think that we needed to perform a review on ourselves. How did we behave? And I'm speaking about myself, the board of directors, and you as volunteers. How did you behave? Were you sensitive to the needs of the organization? Did you communicate diplomatically? This was a difficult time. We all felt a great deal of stress. In fact, that stress isn't going away now with retirement savings and a war in Europe and so forth. But at that time, there was stress, and that was exhibited in sometimes not the greatest communication skills. But it was because people were scared and they didn't know what to do. They were impatient and they wanted to open things up, but we couldn't do it. It was a very testing time. But thank you, Jody. You helped us keep going. You helped us be positive, and you helped us perform to such a degree that we were successful, and we can do this, have this event tonight. And later in the evening, you'll see some facts and figures about how do we measure that success. But we are on a very, very good platform right now, and I think we can all be very happy and pat ourselves on the back for getting through this period. We have a ways to go yet because there's still this little variant in the background here, and it's affected some of our members already. But we'll hope and pray that that goes away. So again, Jody, thank you very much for all you've done and the guidance you've exhibited for the board and in our organization. So at this point, I will turn the microphone over to Sonja. And Sonja, I believe you're going to speak about volunteers.
I am. Thank you. Well, I am very excited to be here tonight. All I can say is, wow. The excitement and the energy, the positive things that are going on around us, it's just an incredibly wonderful evening for me personally and for Nordic Northwest. The positive energy, I think, is contagious, too. I could feel it as I think I got to talk to most of you going around the room. And it's just such a good feeling to have this kind of energy and excitement. There's a little bitty disappointment because Christiana Smith-Shy was supposed to be talking about the volunteers tonight. But in a board meeting in Chicago yesterday, it turns out she came home with a little bit of a bug. So she isn't able to be with us. So I'll be sharing some of her comments with you tonight. And her picture is up there. I would like to think that was just a very young picture of me, but no, that's really Christiana. Christiana has only been on the board for, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, something like that. And she hit the ground running. Within a few weeks, she put together our first ever volunteer fair and mixer. And it was enormously successful, way more than we ever imagined it could be. This room was crowded with people coming to see, what can I volunteer to do? What's out there? And I think we added people to most of the committees and opened up opportunities for people to be involved. As I said, the response was overwhelming. We were very excited. And as a result, we're going to do this again next year. So keep your eyes open. Come and volunteer with us again then, if you will. Volunteers are the heart and soul of this organization. They're involved in most every aspect of what we do here at Nordic Northwest. We have 20 active volunteer committees that plan everything from large festivals such as Scan Fair, Midsummer, and so on, to organizing things like the popular Friday night lectures. So there are all kinds of opportunities. Then, if you're not interested in a committee, there are opportunities for docents, receptionists, gardeners, event additions, office work. We have lots of opportunities. So if you're not already involved as a volunteer, let us know. We'll find a home for you too. Last year, we had 250 dedicated volunteers who contributed over 10,000 hours. That's a lot of time. 10,000 hours. And it's all because of the folks here in this room and the other volunteers who aren't in here today. So we need to applaud ourselves and you for that kind of effort. It's so exciting to see from where we have come to where we have arrived today. Our very positive trajectory is upward and gaining every day, thanks to the volunteer effort. So stay tuned, stay involved, and watch Nordic Northwest move to even greater and exciting things. Thank you. And
hi, I'm Greth Larson, and wow, it's great to see all your faces in person after such a long time. Thank you all for coming. This is a wonderful event, and thanks to all who helped put it on. As Sonja said, volunteers and members are the backbone of Nordic Northwest. During the pandemic, Nordic Northwest members renewed and continued their support of this wonderful organization. We gained new members and reached a record high of 794 member households. Our members also generously supported Nordic Northwest financially. Every year, the board does a board challenge, and we try to raise operating costs for Nordic Northwest. This past year, the board had 100% participation in the challenge, but the members met the board challenge and exceeded our numbers. Under Jody's direction and guidance, we raised $254,000, which surpassed our goal of $200,000. Jody and our staff researched grant opportunities, applied for and received some generous federal and state grants. John made mention to this as well. These grants helped replace the reduced revenue which resulted from curtailing our large festivals and fundraising events. We were also able to fund an operating reserve or rainy day fund to provide resources in times of unexpected crisis. As a result of our members' generosity and various grants received, we have continued to operate in the black. Nordic Northwest is financially sound and strong. Thank you, membership, for your generosity in making this possible, and let's keep the momentum going. And I'm wearing this silly hat because I want to say hats off to Nordic Northwest.
Hello, everyone. I'm Joanna Kane. The pandemic, as you can imagine, presented a tremendous challenge for us for our cultural programming. What do you do when your whole building is closed? Then it's open, then it's closed, then it's masking, then it's, social distancing, then it's open again. So what happened? With great creativity, and I can't underestimate the amount of creativity it took, our committees and our staff forged new ways of programming that in turn have provided new ways of connecting. With help from the digital task force, we were able to purchase equipment, and our staff polished the skills to live stream events when no one could come. And now we have a hybrid model, and I heard from someone tonight how important that is. So they can be at home and they can watch Friday night lecture series even if they can't be here. We want to recognize the amazing and talented committees who adapted, tailoring programs to a totally new format. To keep our festivals, for example, alive, the Oregon Midsummer and the Scanfair committees in 2020, notorious 2020, pivoted to digital and to live streaming. In 2021, a small version of the festival was held here on site, and we started doing things like outdoor films. Last year, in fact, despite all of those challenges, 135 events and gatherings were held at Nordia House and through live streaming, thanks to the work of those volunteers and staff. That includes not only the lectures and the folk arts and the cooking, but new language classes, film classes, and cube, and even forest bathing. Try that out. Despite the challenges, our partnerships with other Nordic and nonprofit organizations are developing new relationships. This past year, we started a Nordic coffee hour pilot with our partners, thanks to New Sweden Cultural Heritage Society, Finlandia Foundation Columbia Pacific Chapter, and Northwest Danish Association for their partnership, which allowed us to have a highly successful coffee hour 2 times a month for anybody who wants to come and enjoy. We're taking the summer off, but in the fall, I encourage you all to come and enjoy that time together. And special thanks to Christy Gustafson and Greg Jacob for their leadership in getting that going. Many Nordic and nonprofit organizations continue in partnership with our festivals and other programming events, and we're hoping to do even more. We hope to see more activity with our community calendar, other initiatives, so we can all enjoy cross-Nordic events that support the broad Nordic community all year long. We want to give thanks to all who have engaged in our programming events, gatherings, and festivals. We are so grateful for the joy, the learning, and the community that you have made possible. Thank you.
I am not Dana Bjarnason. Dana, unfortunately, is another board member unable to be with us tonight due to a nasty little infection. And it's a disappointment personally because I find Dana an inspiring leader and a fantastic role model for me personally. I'm Brady Jensen. I'm a relatively new member and a new board member, but a longtime Dane. And I'm going to talk about our Match to Burn the Mortgage campaign. Nordic Northwest is so grateful that the organization was debt-free at the beginning of the pandemic. You've already heard about some of the financial stability that we have, and imagine if we had started deep in debt, how different that story would have been. It was scary times for everybody, and all nonprofit organizations in particular. We survived and are charting our path to thrive in the future. As you may know, Nordic Northwest received generous support during its capital campaign to build Nordia House. But still needed to take a mortgage loan to complete construction. In 2018, $1,750,000 in debt remained on the mortgage loan, and longtime supporters Alf and Lily Gregerson stepped in with a transformational gift, leaving $750,000 remaining in debt. Mike and Arlette Nelson were so inspired by the Gregersons' generosity that by year end they made a generous gift that brought the mortgage loan down to $500,000. In 2019, Mike and Arlette challenged Nordic Northwest membership to totally eliminate the mortgage debt by matching their pledge of support. The membership rose to the challenge with their generosity, and at the end of 2019, Nordic Northwest debt was at zero. Talk about good timing, right? We appreciate each and every donor who contributed to the Match to Burn the Mortgage campaign for Nordia House. Along with Nordia House Capital Campaign donors, our Giving Circle donors are permanently recognized at Nordia House with a plaque in the front entry of the rain garden. A special thanks to the Match to Burn Mortgage campaign donors, Alf and Lily Gregerson, Mike and Arlette Nelson, Hans and Nancy Solstrom, Scott and Glenda Burns, Joanna Kane and Norman Turrell, and apologize, I'm new here, so I may pillage a few names. Nils and Kathy Jensen, I won't get that one wrong. Jim and Laura Parr, Aase Besson, Dolores Nielsen, Stephen and Jean Roth, Kirk Scholbach and Pirjo Koyansu Scholbach, William and Teresa Ferrens, and John Nelson. Our original date for the Match to Burn the Mortgage campaign, as John said, was June of 2020 on Lily Gregerson's and Nordia House's 5th birthday. I don't think it was Lily Gregerson's 5th birthday. Well, you know what happened. We are so grateful that today we can celebrate each donor's generosity and this milestone. And as a new board member, so excited to look forward to the future of Nordic Northwest in this beautiful facility and how we can carry this campus into the future for all of us.
Thank you, Brady. From the time I spoke earlier, I think there's more people in the room. This is remarkable. This is a much bigger crowd than we've had in the past. There's even some outside. Overflow tonight. Beautiful weather. Hi. The 2022 President's Award. Every year, the president of the board has the honor of presenting an award to a person or group of their choosing who has made an enduring difference at Nordic Northwest and the Nordic community. This year, Nordic Northwest President's Award, presented the first one since 2020. We have a typo. I didn't proof that earlier, 2000. I could name many of them in a row, but for that first time since 2020, so it's been a while. This year's award, I'm very happy to announce the award goes to Anita Schnacky. I'm going to describe everything that this wonderful person has done, principally with Lucia, and it appears as though Anita has arrived from the airport successfully. Wonderful. Yeah. Why don't you stand right here? Okay. Speaking of hats, Greth, Anita wears many hats in the Scandinavian community and uses her talents and her time to actively support the community, often behind the scenes. She is involved with lots of Nordic organizations, from the former Scandinavian Club, Nordic Northwest and Sons of Norway's Grieg Lodge, to the Daughters of Norway Frida Hansen Lodge number 37 as their president. Anita has been our Lucia Court chaperone for 2 decades. And you're still smiling. That's good. I love the girls. Her passion for the Lucia program began when she was a young mother. For many years after tucking her kids into bed, she would rush over to the Lloyd Center skating rink and watch the crowning of Oregon's next Lucia. She decided to hop on board with the Lucia Committee in the 1990s, and we have been so lucky to have her as our Lucia chaperone ever since. She has organized, prepped, and shepherded 24 courts through the whirlwind that is the Lucia December, with a flurry of activities going into the summer, always with a bright smile on her face and a big heart. And as our Lucia Committee Chair and Scandinavian of the Year, Sarah Winter, puts it so perfectly, she has truly been a blessing to the Lucia Committee. Anita serves each year's Lucia Court with true joy, happiness, compassion, and excitement. The program wouldn't be the same without her. We cannot thank you enough for all of your amazing help and the endless hours that you have generously donated to the Lucia Scholarship Program. Anita photographs all the Lucia Court events and compiles a special photo book for each girl as a memento for their years as a member of the Lucia Court. She is still in contact with the girls and with a lot of the Lucia Court members, and some of them have become like daughters to her. Thank you, Anita, so much for this dedication. Please join me in a big round of applause for Anita Schnacker. Now, we have a few things to present to you. We have a rose bush. We have a Fogelbo birdhouse. Made by the Fogelbo trolls. Isn't that wonderful? Yeah. And then your certificate, Anita.
I'm blessed. Thank you so much. It's always my privilege to work among the Scandinavian people. It's been my passion since I was really little. My cousin and I used to say, I have more Norwegian than you do. And she'd say, no, I got more Norwegian. I think you've got some Swedish in you. And come to find out, we have both. And we have a little Danish and a little Finnish. And we have a lot of Sami in our background. So that has been a passion my whole entire life. And I'm so proud to be with the girls each year. They are so wonderful. There's such a wonderful group of young ladies to represent our community. And I really feel blessed. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, Anita.
Tervetuloa. I am Greg Jacob, and I'm going to talk about the Fogelbo House. Through the generosity of Ross Fogelquist, one of our founders and emeritus board member, now Fogelbo is part of the Nordic Northwest campus. In July of 2020, Fogelbo, a Steiner log home, was recognized on the National Register of Historic Places. Built in 1938 by noted contract builder Henry Steiner, the 2,000 square foot Fogelbo log house features a peeled log exterior, a mortared stone chimney, a horizontal log exterior, thick cut cedar shingle roof, long rafters, slider and casement windows with pegged latches, corners that are round notched with an axe, 1-inch thick pegged oak floor, curving pole handrails, and a fireplace made of basalt rock. I could go on, but we're limited. But that house has many, many features, and it's one of the reasons it's now on the historic register. I can tell you from experience, it was no easy task to have a structure listed on the National Register of Historically Significant Places. So I am deeply pleased that such an honor finally applies to Fogelbo. And I want to thank Bob Evenson and Lloyd Muser in particular for their assistance in compiling this challenging application. And of course, Ross Fogelquist. In working on the application and rigorous requirements with the State Historic Preservation Office. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Tying into Fogelbo, I'd like to introduce Ross. Ross has an announcement. Now, this gentleman's never short for words, but I told him he only gets 45 minutes. 2 minutes. Ross.
Thank you so much. First of all, congratulations to Anita Snacky. Can you believe it? Both of us climbed into the Viking ship and rode in on the float for Norwegian Constitution Day just a few days ago. And you should have seen us hop in and out of that boat. It was just amazing. We had a great time. And Anita has been so involved in our entire Scandinavian community. It's been such a great pleasure to work with her. I would just like to make a few comments here. After a labor of love of about 15 months and 2 professional photographers and a very skilled graphic artist, I have published a book which is now available at Finware Store and Amazon's books about Fogelbo, a bit about my life, the life of a interesting Swedish immigrant who came here, my Swedish grandfather, and all the different events that have occurred here since the last 70 years. Can you believe I've been here 70 years and I'm still standing? And we've had, since 1975, hundreds of events here on our grounds, and festivals and weddings, endless people coming here from all over the United States. It's very interesting now that people come here, I guess because of the new technology, to dine at Broder Cafe. And they come from all over the country, and even from Europe. And while they're waiting for their table, they walk around our beautiful grounds, Fogelbo grounds, and it's interesting talking to them because they're so impressed with our phenomenal facility, the beauty of the campus, and they are very, very complimentary. So I'm giving you a little order. Before you go home tonight, you have to walk over to see the Fogelbo campus. It's fully in bloom with all the spring flowers and shrubs. Thanking particularly the forest trolls. There are about 15 retired folks that come here every Tuesday and work at the grounds, mow the lawns, trim the shrubs. They built the little Scandinavian buildings on our campus here. We're really indebted to those folks every Tuesday. Rain, shine, snow, they're here. And I want to give them, let's all give them a round of applause. So, in passing, if you haven't seen the wonderful Fogelbo and Steiner exhibit here at the exhibit hall, stop by. It's very interesting, and I think you will enjoy it. So, if you want to find out more about Fogelbo and what has happened here in the past, I encourage you to pick up one of these books. I think you'll really enjoy it. Thank you very much.
Fogelbo may be a national historic landmark, but we know the status of that that designation rests in the remarkable life of Ross. So thank you, Ross.
Thank you, Brother John. And that book is available in the gift shop for $392. Hi, I'm Mike Nelson, past president. I'm going to talk just a little bit about a name that is real important to this organization, and that name is Fetty. Bernhard and Johanna Fetty were founding members of and instrumental in establishing Scandinavian Heritage Foundation in Nordia, Northwest. Through their lifetime, they were generous with their resources, acknowledged, and immense leadership to promote Nordic heritage and culture. In 2008, Bernard and Johanna established the Planned Giving Society for Nordic Northwest and asked others to join them in their commitment to leave a legacy to an organization they cared so much deeply about. Thanks to the charter members who joined together with the Fettys and made a legacy gift commitment. The Fettys made a transformative gift in the amount of $1,500,000. It deserves applause. This was through their estate, allowing Nordic Northwest to establish its first endowment fund, a long-held dream of the Fettys. The impact from the beginnings, and they want to make sure that Nordic Northwest will continue to thrive in the future. Planned gifts to Nordia Northwest will create long-term assistance that will be used for generations to come. Our heartfelt thanks to Bernhard and Johanna Fetty for their immense impact and legacy. May their lives be an inspiration to all of us. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Jody Lippert. It's each day that I have the honor of witnessing your warmth and generation. And every day I also have the honor of seeing your impact on the mission of Nordic Northwest. I'm excited about our future, and I hope you'll continue to deepen your connections and your engagement with Nordic Northwest. Special thanks to our development committee and Brady Jensen for helping planning tonight's celebration event. And I also want to thank our board of directors and John Nelson as the board president for their leadership with the organization. Much appreciation for our talented staff who work along in partnership with so many wonderful volunteers. So thank you for everything you do, and John Nelson will close up the program.
Thank you, Jody. We're not finished yet. We're going to have a toast that will be presented by Peter Loop in a few minutes by the cake. So we're going to have cake cutting and a toast. And I am going to adjourn this session of the meeting for a few minutes so you can refresh your glass or get a drink. And then we'll call everyone to a toast. Peter will introduce the toast. Until then, I'd like a big round of applause from everyone in the room for your involvement, your volunteerism, and your generosity. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you for being here tonight.
Now, you guys need to know the proper Skoll protocol. Drink at the third button. Make eye contact with your audience. Look to your left, look to your right, and say a few inspirational words. Drink, and then repeat the look left, look right, last down to the third. So we all know how to do it, right? Okay. Anyway, I'm here to really celebrate all of you, all of the contributors, everyone who's made Nordic Northwest so successful. I'm here to celebrate the building that's paid off. I'm here to celebrate all the donations that have gone in to make the building, to pay off the funds. I'm here to celebrate all that we've accomplished. I'm here to thank the Feddies for their generous contributions to help the Endowment Fund. I'm here to celebrate the next 100 years of Nordic Northwest. So, toast, cheers, skål. Eye contact, look to the left, look to the right. Thank you.